Oh man, I haven't watched Arch Warhammer in ages. Apparently he's still out there making anti-woke chud slop. And he recently made a video called "The New Fallout Game Will Be Cringe and Gay." Apparently there was news that just came out that Obsidian is canceling Avowed 2 to work on a new Fallout IP. It might be a New Vegas remake, it might be New Vegas 2, it might be something completely new. I really kind of want something completely new, low-key. Like a whole new Fallout game by Obsidian. Granted, it's a lot of new people. You know, it might not turn out to be anything like the design philosophy of Fallout New Vegas, but the idea of a New Vegas feeling game, that's what I'm down for. But right-wing grifters need to turn every headline into negativity. The algorithms of today on every social media platform will never reward positivity again. We have reached a critical point where competition in all these algorithms that sort of, force you to have the best metrics to come out on top means that you have to use rage bait in order to get ahead. I've talked about this a lot and how it's becoming an increasingly big problem with the right taking over every major social media platform. Well, for Arch Warhammer and many other chuds, they have to turn every relevant story into something negative just to get by. And so the narrative is that somehow, just with this one announcement, this one piece of news, we know that the next Fallout is going to be woke garbage. They do this all the time, but now they're doing it when all we know about the project itself is the fact that it exists and is in the works. Not even, this is genuinely ridiculous, but nonetheless, let's let them yap.
The new Fallout game is going to be cringe and gay. Okay? And I'll even do you the favor of explaining why, as there are far too many people right now getting excited for a Fallout game in the year of our Lord 2026. And hey, I have a certain sympathy for why.
Well, Fallout is more popular than it's literally ever been, so... One of my favorite things about Chud content like this is when they talk about a popular piece of media that is at its all-time most popular, and they talk about it like it's dead. And the reason they do this is because if they, in some cases, they've been able to gaslight that into reality. If you hear repeatedly, this thing is dead, this thing is dead, this thing is dead, enough, people start to believe it, and then they start to make it true. I feel like they've already started with this new Fallout game by stating it's going to be a failure as soon as we learn of its existence, to establish that the opinion that everyone on the internet's going to have, the bandwagon opinion, the correct opinion to have, the one that every YouTuber is going to be peddling in their videos for the next 3 to 4, 5, 6 years until the game drops, negative. It's going to suck, it's going to be woke, it's going to fail. Everyone's going to be repeating this until it becomes true. At least that's what he wants to happen. Will that actually be how it goes? Probably not.
After all, it's the original developers of Fallout New Vegas, with the original director and the inventor, of course, of Fallout on the team. Surely this should be fantastic, right? No, it's Obsidian Entertainment, and they haven't created a good game since Pillars of Eternity 1 over 10 years ago, but we'll get to that in a second. First and foremost, Obsidian reportedly working on new Fallout game after Xbox cancelled Avowed sequel. There's red flag numero uno right there. So, Avowed came out and was forgotten about within 5 minutes of its own release. Nobody liked it.
I actually continue to hear people talk about liking Avowed. That's a weird one. My understanding as to why chuds don't like Avowed is because of the color palette. This is like a very ongoing theme as of late, is any game with a colorful palette immediately demonized by the chuds. Yeah, here was the cover. The second this cover hit, and they saw the bisexual lighting aesthetic, the chuds knew the assignment. They knew the assignment the second they saw this game was colorful. The enemy types, from what I understand, are like fungus people, like fungus zombies, and the fungus is like multicolored. It's very like bright and shiny and glowy and colorful. And so that aesthetic, the mold growing everywhere with all of its bioluminescence, woke.
I'm gonna come. Unpopular opinion: 75% of Fallout fan opinions are Chud opinions. Fallout fans are more toxic than the radiation the Great War developed.
Oh, it's true as fuck. I mean, one of the best examples of people just getting on a bandwagon and pretending to have a naturally generated opinion was Fallout 3 hate. You know, like, people just insisted Fallout 3 was a bad game because that was the right opinion to have, right? And only recently are people starting to say, you know, there aren't really any bad Fallout games. Like, they're all pretty good. Like, they're all pretty, you know, entertaining. That's only recently become a realization. Like, people are becoming significantly more self-aware about the fact that they were just on a bandwagon and repeating an opinion they just adopted from some meme or YouTube video or thread that made them feel like they'd be dumb if they didn't have the same opinion as the person who wrote it. That kind of thing.
Nobody played it, nobody goddamn bought it. It was a massive commercial and PR failure. The fact that the company was working on a sequel makes it very clear that Obsidian doesn't give two flying fucks about what you want, they care about what they want to make. Because for all of Avowed's faults, it certainly was the kind of game that the developers probably did want to make.
I mean, that's kind of how we get the best games, though, low-key. Like, once again, this is why these right-wing grifters will never actually be able to make any kind of good media critique, because in this guy's world, good media happens when studios pander to a target audience, not when an artist wants to make something, has a very clear artistic vision and intent in what they're making, and then makes it, and people, a large amount of people, happen to resonate with it. Every one of the most popular pieces of media ever were that. Like, except for, I guess, Avengers Endgame, like, that's pretty high up on the list of successful, popular, influential pieces of media, and that was definitely made to please as many people as possible. But most media, most successful, beloved media, even in the gaming space, was not made to be a people pleaser. It was made to be an art project by a guy or a girl or a team of a small team of people who just wanted to make some art. And that's what makes good shit. But people like this, they make their grift off of telling you that studios are failing you by not pandering to you. Pandering is how you get MCU. Pandering is how you get slop.
It's just too bad that in this particular occasion, their passion did not translate at all into any sort of quality. And hey, good on Microsoft, by the way, for adapting the posture and the personality of a rage-inducingly maddened Wolverine on methamphetamine, wandering over to Obsidian Studios, swinging the scythe full force, with the absolute direct intent of leaving not a man, woman, or child at the studio unmolested, and threatening them, in essence, as this
These guys also are a big fan of mass layoffs for game devs. They hate game devs. Never the CEOs, never the executives, never the shareholders. Those people are not the bad guys. The devs are the bad guys. The writers, the coders, the hard-working people trying to unionize and regularly getting laid off, being forced to work crunch time, those are the people that these chuds demonize. The woke devs. They'll post images of, like, a dev team, and they'll point a red arrow at every woman and every minority on the dev team, and then say DEI, and then call directly for mass harassment of everyone on the dev team who isn't a white guy.
This was a threat, I guarantee you that. This was Microsoft coming down to the company saying, listen, you are going to earn us money now, or we are going to fire the people who are left at your fucking studio. Indeed, there's even a rumor going around now that they forced them to take down a little shrine they'd built to their fired comrades. So good on Microsoft, but okay.
See what I mean? Like, he takes joy in the idea that Microsoft made them take down what I'm guessing would be a photo thing, or some kind of photo thing of employees that were at one point fired by Microsoft that the rest of the team, the rest of the people at the studio miss because they shouldn't have been fired. They were good at their jobs, and Microsoft just wanted to cut costs. These people want games to be corporate slop. That's what they want. Well, actually, they don't really want anything. These people are using the success of video games as a medium to push their grift. None of these people even have an agenda at the end of the day. Sure, this dude's a right-wing chud, but, like, he's not a warrior for the right-wing cause. He doesn't give a fuck how things turn out in the end. He's got his political bias, sure, and he'd be happy to see his side win, but at the end of the day, what he really wants is just to make sure the culture war goes for as long as possible, so he can keep grifting off of it.
just let's move on to Obsidian, shall we? So why am I so confident that this is going to suck? New Vegas was a fluke, okay? Pure, unadulterated fluke. More a result of the...
I mean, New Vegas was underbaked. New Vegas had the chance of being significantly better than it turned out being and was supposed to be. And not only was it not a fluke, it was a prolonged fluke where they kept supporting the game with banger after banger. So Lonesome Road and Dead Money and Old World Blues, those were all flukes too. All right. Granted, people don't like Dead Money as much, and Old World Blues isn't popular with everybody, but bundled together as one whole experience, the DLCs and the main game are pretty well loved. Like, if the DLCs just existed on their own, they'd probably be a lot less liked, but as a whole game, people love it. And then, of course, you've got the Lonesome Road DLC, which, God, that shit... It's ironic that this dude, who I'm pretty sure is a Mormon, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Arch Warhammer a Mormon? How do you... yeah, Honest Hearts, yeah. Lonesome Road and Honest Hearts, like, I feel like those DLCs would have a pretty profound impact on him, right? Like, he would love Joshua Graham. I don't know. I feel like... How is the release of multiple DLCs that banged a fluke as well? I'm engaging with this bait. I'm engaging with the bait.
Limitations placed upon the studio than any actual genius of direction, but okay. So, obviously Obsidian is woke. Obviously Obsidian is woke. They've been woke for years. Everybody knows this. They're loud,
okay.
They're out, they're proud. All of it. Trans flags, pride posts, women's days,
Oh, no.
yada yada yada, you got it. They're doing it. And as for the... okay, like, content roster. Star Wars, Knights of the Republic 2, excellent stuff. Neverwinter Nights 2, Alpha Protocol, Fallout New Vegas, they're absolute jewels, certainly. Dungeon Siege 3, okay, not very good then. And South Park Stick of Truth, solid. Pillars of Eternity, their last good game. And you can already tell the cancer beginning to slip in Pillars of Eternity, which, by the way, they launched on Kickstarter.
I don't know anything about most of these games. Stick of Truth is a banger. Fallout New Vegas is a banger. Was there other ones? Alpha Protocol, Knights... I hear a lot about Knights of the Old Republic being good. What are their other games? Oh, Grounded is a banger. Everybody loves... I get... okay, Outer Worlds... Is Outer Worlds good? I hear a lot about I think that one's, like, well-liked. Grounded, I know, is very well-liked. Pillars of Eternity, Deadfire. Pillars of Eternity is really popular, but, I don't know much about it. I don't really know much about it, to be honest. Tyranny. Tyranny is an amazing RPG. Pathfinder Adventures. So is this like Pathfinder the tabletop? From what I hear from all my tabletop homies, Pathfinder is better than 5e.
None of them were actually executed. None of them were actually finished, proving, by the way, that even a limited developmental time and budget a la Fallout New Vegas does not necessarily create gold, as that was the exact same thing with Tyranny.
Why would you ever assume what made New Vegas good was its limited budget and time to develop? That is the most retarded assumption I've ever fucking heard. Fallout New Vegas is good despite those
Outer
things.
Worlds and Grounded are absolute bangers.
Yeah, I know enough of people's general consensus who have played these games to know that he is wrong about New Vegas being their last good game.
Then Pillars of Eternity 2 came out, which is probably their wokest game to date. Slightly hidden, but it is a game in which there is not a single male leader that doesn't have a stronger and more capable female kind of sidekick ready and able to step into his shoes and do things right for once. The Outer Worlds, peak.
My guess is what he considers to be the line between good or bad game is if it has woke in it. And based on what he's going off of there, like if there is like a character, if there's a scene in your game where, like, the male character almost falls, and a female character, like, grabs him and saves him from falling, your game has gone woke, and it's bad now. Like, the way that this guy interprets media, I'm pretty certain that's enough to make your game woke, and thus bad.
Woke series, who got a sequel purely, again, for the same reasons of...
Also, I should mention, this is the guy who literally fake rolls his, like, he has this, like, fake, fancy British accent, where he tries to speak like the Queen's English, but he speaks like the royal decree. He speaks like that, like he's trying to sound like what would it be in the Imperium? Who are the motherfuckers who talk like that? Not everyone talks a certain way in the Imperium, but there's a very particular group that speaks that way in the Imperium that he's LARPing as, if I'm not mistaken. I think he LARPs as Adeptus Mechanicus, which are kind of not in the Imperium, but also are, they worship the Emperor in their own religion, so it's like, well... Oh, the Inquisition. Yeah, the Inquisitorius, maybe? Like, those fuckers? Yeah, maybe. Planetary government people? Yeah, maybe like he's LARPing as like kind of a high-ranking guy, maybe? Sorry, my neighbors seem to be making a lot of noise right now.
Avowed because they wanted to make it. Grounded, hey, at least it's charming, if nothing else. And then, of course, there's Avowed, their absolute disaster. And at least you think, by the way, that they're going to be saved by the original crew, because they have announced they're bringing on the OGs here. So, design director Josh Sawyer will reportedly be leading the team on a new Fallout game. He's the exact same guy that produced all of these other...
Yeah, he's not even British, he's Norwegian, too. Yeah. LARPer.
Flops. He's changed. And as for the creator of Fallout, well, this is him, right here, right now. He is an avowedly political leftist of the most thoroughly indoctrinated kind, who has...
They hate this guy, bro. They fucking hate this dude. He's like a beloved legend of the gaming community, too, but they fucking hate this guy for not being a racist. Any person who's, like, had any kind of impact in the gaming industry in a positive way and is well-loved and is also left-leaning, they are obsessed with trying to drag their reputations through the mud. Because anyone who's well-liked and is also woke, that, like, you can't... The whole goal of the right is to demonize wokeness as evil at all costs. And so a single person who is well-liked, respected, and talented, who is woke, kind of throws a wrench in the idea that wokeness is a pure evil, a corruptive force that cannot be abided, right?
Long since surrendered any actual passion or interest for video games. And again, this is simply how it is, okay? People have X numbers of good games in them, it seems. X number of good ideas. Alternatively, they are simply brainwashed. We saw this most recently with The Caped Crusader. Bruce Timm coming back to do Batman justice again, and it is full of race swaps, gender swaps. The characters feel boring. Batman is barely in it, and when he is in it, he's picking up a revolver to threaten people. God, he isn't even the hero.
I don't know what this has to do with any of what we're talking about here. Just shut up, bro.
It could easily be argued that Barbara Gordon, black at this point, is a far bigger hero than Batman, and not as Batgirl, mind you, but just as some random goddamn journalist slash lawyer, I think she was, and of course Wide Toya, a woman twice the Batman's size. Just because they were good once does not, by any stretch of the imagination, mean that they're good twice. And here's another point as well. So, this comes, quite obviously, after Microsoft brought a shotgun to their offices and then played Russian roulette with the entirety of the staff. With a shotgun. You can imagine how that worked out.
Obsidian reportedly worked... Wait, what? Hey, there's no way they did this and nobody got arrested. Hold on. I gotta fact check this story. Give me a moment. Obsidian, shotgun, Russian roulette. How do you even play Russian roulette with a shotgun? Okay. It's a game. Yeah, it's a shotgun Russian roulette type game. I'm assuming that's what he's referring to and not that someone actually did this? What the fuck?
As them canceling a vow.
If it's a double barrel, I think. I don't think... Oh, with blanks inserted? Okay. Yeah, all that came up was a game. I don't know. You don't play Russian roulette with a shotgun. That's... I don't know.
It's very much so Microsoft putting their boot down and going, no, you're going to earn us money now. And this means that the decision to make a new Fallout game was probably taken, like, at most 2 or 3 weeks ago. This game isn't... It is not even in a conceptual stage yet. The only hope for this game being good is it takes so long to develop that it somehow passes beyond the current day moral zeitgeist to the point where even people like its creator, Timothy Kane, will simply...
It can only be good if woke is dead by the time it comes out, because naturally, woke will be dead.
The reason why the right hates woke media is because almost all art and media is formed from political, religious, and social commentary.
Yeah, and they will absolutely tear you to shreds if you try to imply that there is any meaning to art beyond what's on the surface, big time. Thank you, Vault Hunter.
Get why he was this weird in the first place, which is highly unlikely. Well, it's probably... Okay, here's another theory as well. Okay. Fallout New Vegas, fluke, caused largely due to the developmental, shortcomings of their time, the time restraints and the budget restraints.
He's unironically arguing that Fallout New Vegas was good because of the budget and time restraints. He is actually trying to argue this right now to our faces like we're idiots.
They had placed upon them at the time. And, okay, there's another thing as well. The very fact that this is the only thing that gives me some hope, the fact that they are given the Fallout IP is interesting, because Bethesda, its true masters, hates Obsidian, because they made Bethesda look absolutely awful.
The claim that Bethesda hates Obsidian is internet, rumor mill shit, by the way. You hear it all the time, and then you try to, look up any evidence of that being so, and it's not really backed up. Bethesda does not fucking hate Obsidian. They have continuously published for Obsidian games in the past. They've had a working relationship for a while since Fallout.
With Fallout New Vegas, not just because Obsidian made a better Fallout game than them, but because now everybody knows that they were given a wildly unfair and ridiculously constrictive time limit in which to make that game. It made Bethesda sound like absolute assholes and sore losers to boot. A line of reasoning that has only grown more plausible and strident over the years. So the fact that Microsoft came in and literally wrestled that IP out of Bethesda's hand to give it to Obsidian is very noteworthy, showing yet again that Microsoft is just not fucking around anymore, which means that if this game is a flop, Obsidian is doomed. It's over. It is.
That is true. Microsoft is locking in right now. They're apparently restructuring, and a big part of their restructuring is, They're going to be making Mojang lock in on updates now. No more lazy Mojang. They've said that, and I quote, they've neglected the Minecraft IP for over a decade, and it's one of their most profitable IPs, so they're locking the fuck in on it. No more lazy Mojang devs. They're about to get to work.
Just gone. And so, out of, if nothing else, sheer self-preservation, you'd think they'd do a good job. And okay, to return to the previous point, Microsoft might be thinking right now, alright, if Fallout New Vegas was indeed a result of very limited budget and very heavy time constraints, which didn't give the crazies on the team all that much time to butt in, change things, or introduce their own ideology into it, how about we try that again? And that's probably your best bet in this case. Your best bet is to give Obsidian a ludicrous time frame that they need to fulfill, and then hope for the best. Hope that they will...
Okay, man. Yeah, these people do not care about art. They do not care about video games. They are grifters and they are losers. They don't even know enough about the way games develop or what makes games special. If you tried to get this guy to write a video essay about why Fallout New Vegas is so good and so special, you wouldn't hear a single original take. You wouldn't hear a single original take, not once. Here, I'll give you an original take on why I like Fallout New Vegas. I guarantee you he couldn't do this. When I walk around in New Vegas at night, I'm walking down the road, it takes me back to when I was driving out through California and Utah and Arizona to get out to California for the first time when I was moving, and it was nighttime, and the stars were out, and the moon was lighting up the desert, and there were saguaro cactuses and Joshua trees everywhere, spotted all about, looking out over the horizon. It was just this very, very memorable, unforgettable, lovely nighttime desert atmosphere that Fallout New Vegas captures perfectly. I can feel myself back on that road in the night, going through the California desert every time I play New Vegas and I'm walking on that highway and the sun sets in game. He could never, Arch Warhammer could never evoke something like that to describe why he loves the game. Because video games to him are something to grift off of, something to use to push his politics. His love for gaming is extremely, extremely disingenuous. Anyway, if you liked my segment, then consider leaving a like and a comment down below. It really helps a lot, and it's totally free. And of course, if you want to see more from me in the future, subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications, and hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.